The typical 48-hour game jam is an adrenaline and sugar-fueled, sleep-deprived event, as much about stamina as creativity, which is to say, it's not human-friendly. Typical game jams will always have their place, but not all of us find our place in a typical game jam. GAMERella is an inclusive and free annual game jam series started by Gina Hara and Charlotte Fisher in 2013 at my research lab TAG. It's oriented towards women and people from communities traditionally underrepresented within the games industry, with a special emphasis on first-time jammers. It's premised around everyone working a reasonable number of hours per day, excellent mentor support, and attention to factors that might interfere with people's abilities to participate. Meals for everyone, childcare for those who need it, wheelchair-accessible spaces, and team formation processes that minimize social anxiety. While GAMERella was initially about welcoming diverse people into game making and lowering barriers for entry, a happy accident is that the games themselves often address and express diverse perspectives. In the last year, we've had a game called Masks about the experience of being on the autism spectrum as explained to neurotypical folks, a platformer called Journey to School that asks players to engage with space through the lens of wheelchair accessibility, and a glitch feminist platformer called Dead Plants about code switching and queer plant cyberspace. GAMERella is a striking materialization of the argument for why the games industry needs more diversity. More diverse game makers leads to more diverse content. Another aspect that sets GAMERella apart is its time scope, which reaches significantly beyond the typical 48 hours. The weeks leading up to GAMERella feature workshops that introduce jammers to technical game making and easily available, often free game making tools. After the game jam, which takes place between a Friday and a Sunday, there's follow-up with the participants, especially to work out how to make the jam experience better. This follow-up culture has given us a glimpse into GAMERella's longer-term outcomes. In surveys undertaken with GAMERella alum in 2017, we learned that of our first-time game makers, which was 48% of participants, 78% had continued making games. Out of the people who had had little or no previous experience with games, which was 76% of participants, 13% went on to study games at a tertiary level. 65.7% of our participants went on to take part in other game jams and incubators. And a whopping 39% of our first-time game makers now work in industry. It's undeniable that GAMERella has had significant impact, which we think about a lot with research, right? But it's also notable that GAMERella isn't anyone's research magnum opus. It's a formula that Gina Hara, our lab's creative director, has been refining since 2013. But this formula is made readily available to anyone who's interested in running their own version in the form of online manuals. If it sounds like I'm saying that GAMERella runs itself, I'm not. It's actually quite labor-intensive. GAMERella has involved conscious leveraging and allocation of lab resources and skills, but notably ones you would find in many games research labs, which is to say that as scholars in academic institutions, lots of us have access to the means to make this kind of thing happen, but we do need to prioritize it for it to become real.
Hello everyone, we are the Cansadas 2. We are a team of very tired people who decided to relax during a game jam and make a game just for fun. My name is Janine and my lovely friends are Carol, also known as New, Pan and Gus. We are all from Brazil, but from different states. The game we made was a relaxing activity, so it has everything we could think to relax and laugh, and then say, hey, this is something I'd like to make. It's named Bonhomie, and it's about a fish submarine and his nice friend Cat Balloon. They're traveling together in threshold between the sea and the sky, looking for cookies, delicious cookies, and as it is a shared journey, like we believe every journey actually is, they have to remember to take care of each other to survive. Everyone must eat the cookies. You can use the spacebar to help them not to miss it, but please take care not to hit the plain G's. They're just minding their own business and going somewhere important. Also, GAMERella was Gus' first experience making a game, and we decided to make it focused on not getting anyone tired or mad. We were a team looking for each other's well-being, and I really believe that GAMERella made it an environment where it made a lot of sense. So that's it. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy our game.
My name is Aiden Buckner, and I'm from California, USA.
And I'm Daniel Melchert from São Paulo, Brazil.
Our game, A Journey to School, is a short puzzle game where a boy and his sister make their way to school. This journey, which is easy for the sister, is nearly impossible for the wheelchair-bound brother, so the big sister must rearrange the surroundings to make the journey more accessible. The player can switch between the sister who can carry blocks and push the brother up ramps, and the brother who can interact with objects in the world to help the sister. This collaboration is essential for overcoming the challenges in their way.
The one thing we took away from this game jam was making sure the scope of the project didn't exceed the short amount of time we had to work, while allowing sufficient time for testing and polishing. It was a great game design experience.
Hello, we are Team Random Name Generator, and we created Casey's World during GAMERella Global Jam 2021. Random Name Generator is an international team. Christina are developers from the US, Helen are narrative designers from Canada, Mia, our character designer, is also from the US, and Katya, our background and concept artist, is from Finland. Casey's World is an atmospheric, combat-oriented side-scroller set in worlds that span across imagination and reality. You play as Casey, a young woman struggling to find her footing in life. Explore the world from her point of view as she fights enemies and vanquishes demons. The level design integrates classic game UI with the narrative itself, allowing players to consider the boundaries between a digital life and a real one. If Casey chooses to play again each time, she'll replay the whole level. But if she chooses to quit the game, we see her world as it is, not as she wants it to be. The game explores themes of mental health and self-perception. Even though we want to hide from our real-life problems, if we face our monsters, we are still heroes for surviving to fight another day. GAMERella was a great learning experience. It allowed us to effectively pilot the whole game development process in a matter of days.
Hi everyone! Welcome to Mondness, a game made in 48 hours for GAMERella 2021. My name is Andres, and my teammates are Kelvin, Giovanni, Julia, Larissa, and Beatriz. And together we are the Jellivixes. We are all Brazilians from different parts of the country. So, Mondness is a 3D puzzle game of gravity manipulation. Use this to your advantage to form bridges, close gaps, and get to the next portal. However, you need to be cautious, else you'll fall and never get back. Embark with us on a journey through the empty dark voids of the space above as you wander around asteroids and planets collecting stars. Let the adventure sink you in a space of deep thought and appreciation. We want to thank GAMERella for such an amazing environment and support. Thank you for giving us the challenge, the visibility, and for uniting such a terrific team that will be making plenty of games in the future. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, we're the team with no name composed of Jane, Janet, Oleg, and Hanin. We come from multiple places scattered across the globe, yet GAMERella Global brought us together this year. I myself am located in Montreal, Canada. The game we chose to develop stems from our curiosity when taking the train and the wholesome elements we interact with while observing our surroundings. Our game, Everyday Train, takes the player onto an interactive, repetitive, yet unique daily journey. The player waits at the station, boards the train, looks at posters, overhears conversations, makes choices, then gets off the train only for it to restart the next day. At some point, the player sees an old lady knitting. At another, they witness a man planning to propose to his partner and doing a pirouette. These encounters are generated randomly each time you play. Our experience at GAMERella Global was very wholesome and welcoming. The event was inclusive, no matter your experience level. The mentors, the psych support workers, and organizers were there to guide us through and make sure we had a good time.